Okay, hello internet. Today I've just decided to come up with a tutorial on how to do random numbers in JavaScript. So without any waste of time, I'm just going to show you what we're talking about. Here I've just made the simple structure of a number casing game. We're just going to demonstrate this by a number casing game, which is here. So when our user types in a number here like 6, when he clicks guess, we should get a verification if the number that is typed in here is correct to the random number that will be generated by the system automatically. So that is what we are going to be doing today. If it's wrong, the system is going to tell the user the number is wrong and then gives him another chance to type in another number. So without any waste of time, let me just show you everything that I've just created here. This is simple HTML and CSS. It's nothing much, so I'm not focused on the CSS part in the HTML, so we're just going to be focusing on the JS, so never mind our styling and stuff. So let me just close the developer settings so that you can see everything. Okay, so now it's okay if the user types in like 8, he should be told if the 8 is okay with the random number that is generated by the system. Okay, I think that's fine. So now we'll just go to the code and let me show you how I made this. This is the HTML file where I created the let me say this is the heading, and then this my contents. I just used a field set and then put everything inside, and then which is a text field and a button. The text field with the name text field input, and the button btn submit, which is what you are seeing there. And then the styling is here, just body, flex, everything centered, and then inside the body we have this display of grid of the container, anything important here. I think everything is fine over here. So now we're just going to jump into JavaScript, which is why we are here. So excuse me. Okay, what we're going to do now is just going to fetch the DOM. So we're fetching it like we need what do we need? We need this and this and this and this text field, this button, and this is a paragraph where we are going to be showing our results. So without any delay, let us go to, first of all, we're going to be taking the button, which is this, and the value in here is going to be tested with this value that the user is going to put in here. So okay, let me just do it here. The button, you can just put it on a constant variable, because I suppose we're not going to be changing it. So let me just say document dot. We're going to use the preselect function, and then the btn is it btn submit? Yes, btn submit. And then what else do we need? We need to create the random variable that we are going to be testing against this value here. So let us just say the random variable might change, so we need to make it let. So let me say let random value. We're just going to say to create a variable that is a value that is a random in JavaScript, we need to use the random function that is found in the math library. So we're just going to say math dot random like this, and what this does, it creates a number, a floating point number that is between 0.0 up to 1. To create these numbers 0.0 up to this one. So what we need here, we don't need these floating point numbers, but what we need the integers. So what we are going to do, we're just going to change this into an integer, and we change it by saying multiply by, let me say I want my random numbers to range from 0 to 10, between 0 to 10, from 1 to 10. So I will multiply it by 10 like this. So now when I run this, I have a number that is from 0 and to 10. This is between 0 and 10. So in order to let me say, oh no, I made a mistake. This is not just to change the floating point, but this is to measure our random loop. We want it to stop at 10. But when we want these numbers to change from the floating point to integers, we need to wrap this into a round method that is in the math library. So how do we wrap this? We're just going to say round like this. I mean math dot round, and then in here we put in our editing copy. Okay, it's fine, but then we're just going to say math dot random like this, and then we put in here, and then we put in our 10 as in our stopper of the loop. So now what we're going to get here is a random value between 0 and 10. If we're just going to consolidate it now, so we just see a random value. This is so that we can see what we're going to get. Let me just quickly go to our Chrome and then open the developer settings. When I refresh this page, I must get a random value, which is 6, 9, 2, 0, because it's a random value between 0 and 10. So now our random numbers are working. This is how we create the random numbers in JavaScript. Okay, basically this is what creates random numbers, but then this makes them to be floating points, so that is why we put the rounding. So we want to round it to the nearest whole number. That is why we put the rounding method from the math library. So now, in order to test if the user puts in a correct value here, we need to check through this pattern. So what we are going to do, we're just going to say the pattern that we created here, or we fetched from the DOM. We're just going to use it now, and then say we are going to add an event listener. This will be the clicking event listener, and then here we're just going to put in a function. Yes, function. You can just say what function. Let me just say test, because we don't have any testing function. So let me just say test, and make it it should be a function like this. This should be a function, and then this function, what does it do? It will check if this value is correct with this random value, and then give results here. So this is what we're going to do. We need to check with this text field. So let us just fetch it. Let txt, it should be document dot query selector. And what are we selecting? The txt input. is it an ID txt user input? So if now we are validating if txt.value equals to random value, then console log correct. But if it's not, else console log wrong. This is our code. This is our simple validation code that we will check if the value here is equal to this one. If it's not, then you are going to get a console log that is wrong, or maybe if it's correct, and you're going to get a console log that is correct. So let us just check first. Let me check if I've typed everything okay here. Text user input. Let me just copy this so that I don't mess. Where is the text? Here, I used ID. Then I'm just going to put this here, and then what else do I need? We need to check this function, because this one, we need to take this one and then put it on top of the scope here, so that when it calls it's fine. Okay, then now I think we need to run the function and then check if 8 is okay, it is wrong, and then check by maybe typing 6. Correct, the value was 6. Type 2, wrong. You see here I'm checking the first value was wrong, the second one was correct, which was, I think it was 6. Let me just check on 6 again. Correct, the value was 6. If I can just refresh again and then type again 9 is wrong, 6 is wrong again, 1 is still wrong. Let me just use 3 is still wrong, but then you can just test and then find the correct answer. But then for now, because we needed our user when playing to be able to get the results here, because now this is what we see as the user cannot just see our result, because what we do is that we take our result and put it here on the console where we as programmers can see, but then our user cannot see. So in order for the user to see, we need to take this and put it just here. So what we're going to do now, I'm just going to go into the code and then take this and put it here, because now we can see that our program is working fine. It just told us that the answer was 5. Yes, correct, 5 is correct. So our program is working fine. When we get a number, we get the result that is correct or it is wrong. So then now we need to take this and put it just here, and then the program will be fine for today. So what we're going to do is just we're going to go to here, into here, then use the results, which is this paragraph here, the results paragraph, and then we're going to use it here and say results dot inner HTML or inner text. But then today we're going to use inner HTML, and then here we're just going to say correct, and then here I can just say if it is wrong, then the result is going to tell us if it is wrong. Then the result inner HTML wrong. Then I think our program should be fine by now. let me just refresh this and then type 9. Guess 9 is wrong, and even here you can see 9 is wrong. Type maybe 6. Guess 6 is wrong again. But then because we are running out of time, you can just test and then find the correct answer. So for us to easily find the correct answer, we're going to do this. Here we're going to console log the random value. If it is wrong, then it's going to tell us the random value, the value that we are testing against with our input. So now let me just say 1 and then guess. It is wrong, and then the random value should be 9. So when I say I put 9 and then guess, then now it is telling the user it is correct. 9 is correct, and then here you are getting the result is correct. So for now, we can just close our developer settings tab and then work like the user. Then we're going to refresh, type a number between 1 and 10. 8 is between 1 and 10, and then we are guessing. We are wrong. Maybe just to repeat, 3 is between 1 and 10. We are guessing. Still we are wrong. Then 8, like 7. Still we are wrong. So, but then in the console we can check the number if we want. So let us just check it in our console to see if the number should be 6. So if we were to be right, we should have written type 6 and then see 6 is correct. The user is alerted that 6 is correct. But then as you can see, this is just plain coding or plain programming, not much styling. We can just make that our results differ per the result. I mean, if the result is wrong, then it should be red in color. If it's right, then it should be green in color. So we're going to add the success class and the wrong class here. I'm just adding this class into this paragraph. I'm just adding the success class, and then here I'm just going to add the wrong class. These are classes that I have made in the CSS. They are here. We have a wrong class and the success class here, both of them. So just using them to detect if the user is wrong, and then if the user is wrong, it's going to be directed to this class, and if it's right, it's going to be directed to this success class. So it is nothing much. It is just that I'm just adding those classes here in this paragraph. So what we are going to do now is we are going to check using these classes. Refresh and then put maybe type in 8 and then guess 8 is wrong, and then you are directed to the wrong class. And then you can do this using your CSS. It is nothing much, and it is not our business. I'm just doing it for fun's sake. You can search and then find the correct answer. It will change here to wrong, to wrong to right, and then the color will be green. But then for today, our lesson ends here. We've been talking about formulating random numbers in JavaScript, or maybe creating random numbers in JavaScript.